When I see, for instance, George sawing logs, you get, or at least I get a little thrill, and mostly because as that log is being sawn and its first face is revealed, that's something that nobody's ever seen before. I mean, that log just spent the last 120, 30 years at the bottom of a river. Prior to that, it was growing from 200 to 500 years out in the forest. And here suddenly today, zip, 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 it reveals its inner face. And when you're the first person to see that grain, that's pretty spectacular. To touch something that's that old and is still, at least in the case of river recovered logs, is still highly usable. It's not going to go to waste. All things eventually deteriorate, but someone's going to get to see the story behind that log. We pulled a hand-hewn log out of our log pond that came out of the Choctawhatchee River years ago, and George bought. We've got a couple of them. The story is that they had been hand-hewn and probably fell off of one of the barges that was destined to go down to Pensacola. So a builder came through a few months back, and he wanted a big rustic mantel for this 10,000 square foot home that he's building, and walked him all around the shop to look at all the drywood. We walked past the log pond, and he stopped me and he said, "Well, that's it. That's the one I want." I said, "The one in the log pond's the one you want." That's the one he wanted. We pulled it out, and it was one of these hand-hewn, squared-off logs. And we put it on the resaw so that we could cut it to a 10-inch level for him and reveal a flat, square surface to be the top of this mantel. And there was something about that cut being made. It's just an anticipation to see what the face of that log is going to look like. And so as the saw was cutting through there, I got very excited. I think everybody else did too, because it was such a unique piece. And as we took the top off, the smaller piece, it just revealed this gorgeous, gorgeous, select cathedral arching grain face. And heart pine's photoreactive, and so immediately that face went from the bright yellow that heart pine is, and it started to darken just before your eyes. And so there's this whole reaction that's going on, and at the same time, you're just touching something that's so old. And you lament a little bit that you didn't get to see. I wanted to stand in that forest and see that forest growing. I really lament the fact that there was never an opportunity to stand in amongst that forest, listen to the wind going through it, and enjoy that part of creation. So to go up and at least touch it all these years later, and put your hand on a piece of natural history, that's exciting. It's emotional.